Shall we? Hang on. I got a seatbelt clicker in my ass.
Look out. That's just George Clooney's pride in communism. No.
Spoiler alert. We just got out of Hail Caesar. I'll just get it out of the way now. I liked it a lot better than Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Set the bar low. I like how we're starting out, yeah. It's like, this movie is better than Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
It's better than the one I saw earlier. And then that one was better than I saw earlier this week, which was the Oogie Loves and the Big Balloon Adventure.
Again. Because you're fucking masochist.
It was just for me.
Twice.
Yeah. Oh no, that was my 5th time. I gotta keep convincing myself it exists.
It's like, this is something that really happened, and these people
I'm still not convinced it really happened.
It's like a fever dream.
Actually, one of my favorite things tonight is enjoy delicious Coca-Cola with Jesse Owens. Yeah.
Well, I like my Coke like I like my Jesse Owens. Black.
Well, I don't know how to tell you this. They don't make Coca-Cola black anymore.
Oh, that shit was good. Dude.
It was good. I like that shit. Actually, I really liked Hail Caesar.
Black, yeah. It was fun. It was more like a bunch of little vignettes centered around Ed Mannix, who is played by James Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Fuck. He's starting to become James Brolin.
James Brolin was the guy from Sisters.
Don't you fucking Sisters?
He is in that.
Fucking... Of all the things that James Brolin has done, you throw out Sisters.
I could have said Master of Disguise.
Notwithstanding Seal Award. Still fine.
I hope that,
Master of Disguise would be worse.
That Josh Brolin, that his character in this movie, he plays a head of production at a movie studio.
Yeah.
And his character's name is Edward Mannix, and I hope to God that that's a reference to one of the best movie dub actors of all time, Edward Mannix. You've probably heard his voice in every exploitation movie ever made.
Okay.
The guy who sounds kind of like this. I hope that the Coen Brothers were watching Cannibal Holocaust.
That just reminds me of Heart to Heart now. And Mrs. Hart, she's a looker.
Kind of like Edward Mannix's voice. It's like, if you need someone to dub somebody in the movie, you get Edward Mannix. So I hope the Coen Brothers were watching Cannibal Holocaust and were like, who is voicing Robert Kerman in this? Edward Mannix. That's a good name.
Right? That's a brilliant name. We gotta use that in a movie sometime.
Oh, we're making this Hail Caesar movie. And meanwhile, I think they had a weekend where they were watching a bunch of old Hollywood movies and decided, fuck it, let's make this send-up of all these different types of movies that we're watching, from Roy Rogers cowboy movies to big number musicals to filmed Broadway adaptations to detective movies, and all of this, let's throw them together in this movie and kind of make them link with this sort of overarching plot that has to do with a big name actor who's been kidnapped. But mostly it's just kind of like we're just having a lot of fun with these different tropes of all of these old movies.
You're right.
And I liked it. I thought it was really funny.
It was funny. Well, and then of course they throw in communism, and it's squarely set in the 50s, so you have to have communism when you're talking about Hollywood.
He's kidnapped by a group of writers who are communists, who are screenwriters, who they haven't been paid or anything for all the movies they've written. And then over the years, they have interjected their own communist beliefs into the movies that they've written.
They probably haven't been paid because they've been fucking blacklisted. They're probably the only writers blacklisted that actually were communists.
They're in touch with at least some money, man, because they got Channing Tatum funding their shit with a fucking submarine. That was awesome. Like, that one shot right there with the submarine coming up and this beautiful looking, like, matte painting behind him and everything. That right there is more impressive than anything I saw in the finest hours last weekend.
That's terrible.
At least this looked like there was water there.
They were in water, yes.
Yeah.
They were in a giant pool somewhere, but yes, it had the illusion of it being the ocean. It was very well done. It was just...
And I can... You know what? This is one of those movies that I really did fucking dig. From the little things like when they're talking about one of the movies that the guy wrote and interjected his own beliefs. It's like, didn't you wonder why at the end they overturned the election and just gave it to that one guy? Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
I can... For the reasons we've said, like, if somebody goes to see it and doesn't care much for it, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, I honestly get it, because it is a pretty thin movie. Like, in terms of... it's kind of like if it's in tone... It's more akin to like a Coen Brothers movie in the style of like Big Lebowski or The Hudsucker Proxy. But it's kind of like if a lot of the Big Lebowski was made up of the dream sequences from that movie.
Think Four Rooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it kind of reminded me of. You've got these separate little stories going on, but they're tied together by Brolin's character.
Yeah, but it's not...
But they're not compartmentalized like Four Rooms, but it's very much these smaller interweaving stories to make one larger narrative.
It does, and like, while you can sit there and watch it and be like, I'm not sure why it's showing this 5-minute scene of this musical number, but I get it, because these sequences are actually the character build up for the movie. So like, okay, take Channing Tatum, for instance. We're introduced to him in this 5-minute musical number that's amazing. It's great.
The man can still dance. From Magic Mike to this, and I'm like, the man's got some talent. God damn you, Channing Tatum, you sexy little beast. You fucking tap dancing fool, you.
This scene, they're these sailors who are singing about, well, they're going out at sea and there's no dames at sea. So they're singing about how they're going to be just away with no dames, which when you look at a lot of their moves, it seems like that won't be a problem for these guys.
Oh, God damn it.
But then later, when he comes back into it, that's kind of what his character setup was, which is he is just this guy who's known for this kind of movie, this kind of Gene Kelly type, but then later you see him as heading this fucking unit of communists boarding a submarine. Like, it's kind of great. And what's great about these different numbers in the movie between his with the sailors and the mermaid with Scarlett Johansson is that I want to see those movies. I mean, they're great recreations. They seem like something that would actually exist.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I want to see that movie.
I kind of do, man.
Yeah.
One of the final scenes with George Clooney's character, Barrett Whitlock, is when he's delivering this monologue, and I'm just like, this is fantastic. Like, they made it really corny, like some of the other parts of this movie. Like, when they were filming this Hail Caesar.
It looks like The Robe or like something like that.
But then he goes into this monologue, and it's so just... I'm just like, this is really good, and I kind of want to watch this movie now.
And then messes up at
and then
the
screws
very
up
end.
the last word. The last word he screws up. He's like, oh,
Shit. I would have to be in a mood to watch that movie, though, because I guarantee you that's a 4-hour movie that they're shooting.
Oh, of course it is.
But
That's a Cecil B. DeMille movie right there.
what's cool about using stuff like that as its kind of character build up in the movie is that when it shows you what this person is in real life, it's the direct opposite of how we're introduced to them. Channing Tatum is this happy-go-lucky kind of singing guy who...
Patriot, like they're all dressed in, Navy outfits. You know, you think, oh, this guy's true-blooded American, and then
he looks like an 80s movie villain when he's on, like, boarding the submarine.
Holding this tiny
fucking dog.
Recreating Washington crossing the fucking Delaware.
It's so good. And then Scarlett Johansson, who's when you first see her in this mermaid movie she's doing, she's like this America's sweetheart type.
Is it Esther Williams? Wasn't she the water queen, the one who did all the movie, like the old golden age water-based movies?
That really kind of like America's sweetheart, girl next door type. And then the camera says cut, and she's got this thick accent, and she's been knocked up. She doesn't know who the father is. She's chain smoking. She's got a couple ex-husbands no one knows about. One of them's a minor. And it's funny stuff. It is.
It is even funnier because you know that's the kind of shit that went down.
I'm sure that's still shit that goes on today.
But here's the thing, like, back then, like, now we know about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, everybody gossips and throws it out there. Back then, it was, you could actually kind of play this role, play this facade, and most people wouldn't necessarily know about it.
Like LA Confidential on the Hush Hush.
Yes.
And the one... It really does do a good parody of that system too, where like it's, you know, they're wanting to trade one actor for another actor, and they're negotiating who can play Jesus, and then they take one actor direct from one set and then just immediately place him on another, and this is the best character in the movie.
Hobie?
What?
Hobie?
Yeah. Hobie Doyle, who's this Roy Rogers, Gene Autry type, who is the most authentic one in the movie. He is in real life how he is in this Western that he's doing. I was in tears when it was showing this lazy old moon.
Lazy old moon.
He starts singing about the fucking moon. He's old prospector who's yelling at the moon. It's that damn moon! And he's screaming at the moon in the reflection in the fucking horse trough and jumps in after it. Oh, where'd that damn moon go? I was in fucking tears.
It was ridiculous, but it was like this. I mean, you could see it was something that they watched a lot of this as kids. They watched a lot of movies as kids, and some of it you have to think is drawing on them as kids, what they watched as children, and then once they got into the business and saw this other side of it, it's those two. It's like the meshing of those two. It's their childhood versus the reality of them as adults getting into the movie business, doing movies, and realizing that all of that glitz and glamour wasn't really all that much. All of it, none of it was really all that true. So it was it was an interesting intersect, and I think they pulled it off really well. Yeah,
I think it is definitely one of those, in the style of movie that it is, where it is very sequence heavy, very sketch heavy. If you don't think it's very funny, you're probably gonna look at it and think that it's just kind of a mishmash of a bunch of different shit, and it doesn't. You probably won't like how it all kind of flows or links together or anything like that. I was thoroughly entertained by it. Especially in that it's a Coen Brothers movie that has not only Connor McLeod, but the Kurgan in it as well.
Which I did not expect either of them. And then I'm sitting there, because Lambert plays the director of the movie that Channing Tatum's in. So he starts walking up. I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
Is that?
is that them bear?
I hope so.
And then he starts talking. I'm like,
That's him.
Sam. Oh yeah,
That's him. He's great. He's in it for like a minute,
Right.
2 minutes tops, and he's really. It's a
He
really
is.
funny scene.
it is.
That was, and Ray Fiennes plays this very artistic director who handles like film version of Broadway productions,
Right.
adaptations, really serious stuff like bow tie, top hat movies, and so he has to now direct this very serious scene, this very serious dramatic scene in his movie, in which at the last minute they've played. Fucking Christ! It would be like if you put like Roy Rogers in like At Long Last Love, or like it's something like Top Hat or something like that. So they stick the Roy Rogers dude in there, and he can't get the accent right because he talks Southern in real life. It's a funny sequence. It made me laugh. I was like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know where any of this is going, but I'm really enjoying myself.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's like a 2-minute sequence
Yeah.
where Hobie and Fiennes' character, who is Lawrence,
Yeah. Lawrence.
they're going back and forth on one line, and Ray Fiennes' character like, I want you to say it exactly as I say it, and he does. He repeats it back. But Ray Fiennes' character is like, twa. He kept saying twa. And so Hobie's saying it back, and he's like, why are you saying it like that? He's like, because you told me to say it just like you said it.
I am reading your lips.
So he basically is parroting everything that he's doing. I mean, and doing it perfectly. I mean, you could tell he's a true director's actor because he's following directions to a T, and it's starting to. You can see it's just starting to piss Fiennes' character off just all the more because it's like, why are you moving your hands? Stop bobbing your head.
He's not used to saying lines or doing dialogue with other actors because his movies are just. He rides on a horse and does a handstand on it and flips around on a tree.
While shooting something.
Like, wow, it's really amazing stunt work there, honestly.
Yes.
Like, these are better than actual Roy Rogers movies. Quite enjoying this shit.
Right?
I was always more of a spaghetti western man, but I don't know. I might have to go back and watch some singing westerns now. They're doing this shit. Fucking singing at the moon. Oh, that dang old moon!
Damn.
Why is he so mad?
So weird. I was just sitting there going, what the hell is going on right now?
Did you notice Fisher Stevens?
Yes, it's one of the communists.
Yeah.
That was great.
Just fucking Fisher Stevens.
There's him and Krumholtz
Yeah.
and somebody. There's a couple.
A lot of actors whose faces I recognize, but I can't.
But a lot of the bit part characters you see in every movie are in that. Yeah.
Really, it's like a character actors union.
Yeah, it kind of was. It's like, hey, let's go out and get all those guys that we have in all of our movies that nobody knows. Just put them all together in one and make them all communists.
They've all got a club. They're all communists.
Right. Just give one a call and they'll all kind of show up.
They're instantly exchanging ideas with each other via finger sandwiches. Clooney's just been kidnapped. He doesn't really care.
Yeah.
He's just glad he's around people who are also communists like him. There's this amazingly well-written scene in this movie where the main picture that they're working on is a movie called Hail Caesar, A Tale of Christ. And in order to do it right, or to do it not offensive, they have this Josh Brolin has this meeting with 4 different religious figures. One of them's there's a priest, a rabbi,
a Protestant minister.
Yes. And miscellaneous. One other guy. I forget what the fourth guy is.
I feel like they were trying to go like Muslim, like a Eastern. It was trying there. I think they were going for Eastern religion with it. I don't know exactly which one.
I can't remember.
And I don't think they ever specify. They just say throw something else in there. And
he was because there's one who it's a really great sequence. Like if this sequence was like a fucking Saturday Night Live scene, it'd be one of the best since the 70s. He's asking them if there's anything offensive in the movie that offends them, and at first one guy's like, well, he jumps from one chariot to the next, that's not realistic. Like, we'll work on that, but like, I mean about Jesus, like, why do they say Jesus has children? He's a bachelor. And they're arguing with each other about their own deities and how they see Jesus, how they see God. And it just turns into this squabble with all of them. And, gentlemen, we've done good work here.
Because he leaves and they're like, did you make any headway? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. Millions of people will see this movie. Who cares?
Right. It's like it's gonna make money.
I mean, this movie there are still really good movies that come out this time of year, and not just not just like stuff that like was limited release in December, but then gets released elsewhere in January.
Right.
I almost wish this was released like late last year or maybe later into this year, because my God, the Doyle could easily get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Like, damn, he is fucking funny in this. And Tilda Swinton as twins. One's like wanting to be a serious journalist, one's a gossip columnist.
But they're both gossip columnists, really. It just kind of...
Yeah, they kind of blend together.
Yeah. They're going after the same type of stories, just one is delusional.
I love that. The only bit of difference between the two of them is they just put a different shirt on her.
Yes.
Like, that's funny.
And it's like one of those old time, like you would have done Twins back in the day. You get the same person, you have them walk off, get changed real quick, and come right back into scene and go, oh, I just missed my sister, really?
Yeah.
Like, just those little things that are just throwbacks to the golden age of Hollywood. It's really funny.
It's funny shit. Like, if you love the movies that this film is sending up, you'll get a real kick out of this. I mean, I did. It seems like, like me and Sarah would be sitting around watching some old, like, movies or something like that and just be like, oh man, wouldn't it be great if, like, there was something that had this and this and this and that? Well, now there is.
Yes.
I mean, the movie is theoretically all over the place, but...
Yes, it is.
I mean, it really is.
Oh,
but it was a good ride.
Yeah, it was a fun ride. I can't imagine... I don't know how they'd pull it off any other way, but...
It's the fun Coen Brothers movie,
It is. Like, it's not the dark, brooding... It's sillier.
Yeah, it's not the No Country for Old Men, blood simple, man who wasn't there. It's not
half
Inside Llewyn Davis. Half of Fargo, yeah. It is more like, let's just have, like, a lot of fun, and let's just, like, do some funny shit, and just really, really quirky and goofy. I mean, it's in that category of Coen Brothers. It definitely is The Big Lebowski, or Burn After Reading, or Hudsucker Proxy, or Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of Coen Brothers movie, to which I'm game. I'm totally game.
Which means the next one will probably be dark and brooding.
Oh, it's going to be a snuff film. It'll get very many Oscar nominations.
Set to the music of Raising Arizona.
Yeah. I'm conflicted.
I want to laugh, but God, he's slitting that girl's throat.
That is the quirkiest I've ever seen someone beat with a baseball bat.
Oh, holy shit.
Any final thoughts on it?
I thought it was a fun film. I can easily see if some people don't like it because of its disjointed nature. Mm-hmm. But if like grew up watching some of this stuff, or your parents or grandparents kind of, if you were sitting around one day and they were watching one like an old 50s movie, you'll get a kick out of this. The send up of it is just, I mean, it's perfect. It's all of the little various movie vignettes are perfect recreations of what you would have seen something like that done in the 50s. So if you like that kind of stuff, you'll enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun film. Like it's in terms of the comedies that are out right now, it's the best one that's out there that you could go see. I realize it's fucking February
until that
right
Melissa
now,
McCarthy movie comes out. Oh yeah,
The Boss.
Fucking
Brian
hell.
is not looking forward to that. I was sitting next to him, and he was very angry when that trailer was playing. I don't know how to feel about that. I thought the trailers for Spy were bad, but I liked the movie. So I don't know. I mean, I would totally recommend Hail Caesar. I thought it was a very, very, very funny and entertaining movie. So hang on. I'll hit pause, and then I guess I'll talk a little bit about the other movie.